Honorable guests, dear participants, welcome to FerMUN 2020, the 10th edition of this conference. Please, everyone, join me in thanking the people who have made this conference possible. When I raise my hand, help me shout thank you. Let's practice. When I raise my hand, you shout. 3, 2, 1, thank you. All right. First of all, let's thank our hosts, the International Telecommunication Union and the United Nations office in Geneva. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's thank our partners who helped us make this amazing event possible. Ms. Vellucci, Director of UNIS at UNOG. Ms. Bogdan Martin, Director of the Telecommunication Development Bureau at ITU. Mr. Rivasseau, Ambassador at the French Mission. And Mr. Jacquenet, Principal of the Ferney-Voltaire International School. Thank you. Let's also say thank you to all 95 MUN directors from the 51 schools present here today for the work you have put into preparing your students for this conference and getting them to Geneva from all over the world. Thank you. Special thanks go to Ms. Baudry, Program Director of FerMUN, and Mr. Launay, Mr. Ackroyd, Mr. Kessler, and Ms. Zori, MUN directors of FerMUN, for their incredible dedication and for patiently answering endless questions from the student organizers. Thank you. A huge amount of energy and enthusiasm has gone into bringing us all together today. So what's the objective? On the surface, Model UN looks just like role play. It's obviously an incredible learning experience, but as an imitation of a real institution, it can feel lacking in tangible impact. A few months ago, in a United Nations meeting room just like this one, a teenage girl turned to an audience of international representatives in business suits and ties and asked a provocative question. How dare you? Greta Thunberg threw this question out as a challenge to an audience of politicians and career diplomats to denounce their empty words, their inaction. She was on the outside, challenging those on the inside. That is not what is happening here. We've turned the whole situation inside out. Over the next few days, in committees or in our 2 new youth assemblies, it will be up to us, young people, to find solutions, reach consensus, and make decisions about our common future. We are no longer on the outside, looking in. Instead, we are at the core. The theme of this year's debates is far from simple: technology for development. The power of technology is as scary as it is promising. It could help us solve massive issues, or it could create new problems on unprecedented scales that we are far from ready to face. How can we use it efficiently without letting it escape our control? Usually, these discussions are reserved for professionals. But for the next 3 days, it will be up to us, and the professionals will listen. That is what makes this conference so special. This is the first ever ITU Futurecasters Global Young Visionaries Summit. Through this summit, ITU is engaging with youth on the digital future we want. What's more, this year, to mark their 75th anniversary, the United Nations are inviting the world to join the biggest ever global conversation on international cooperation. Under the slogan, "Join the conversation, be the change." For all of us here at FerMUN 2020, the conversation starts today. To launch UN75 in Geneva, you are invited to enter a dialogue with Ms. Tatiana Valovaya, Director General of UNOG, Mr. Fabrizio Hochschild, Undersecretary General of the UN, and Ms. Doreen Bogdan Martin, BDT Director at ITU. One thing is clear: this conversation is wide open to young voices. A week ago, on New Year's Day, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres held up today's youth as the greatest source of hope and inspiration in this time of planetary danger. The United Nations stands with you and belongs to you, he said to us. This means we are entering a transitional stage. In this room, at this conference, we are in the act of assuming responsibility. Until now, we were not a part of the global conversation. But today we are being consulted. We are speaking out and being heard. Delegates, we have the floor. So we've turned it all inside out. And I want to turn the question inside out as well. I will not ask, how dare you? Instead, I will ask, do you dare to? Do you dare to ask difficult questions? Do you dare to speak out for what matters to you? Do you dare to get involved in creating solutions? Do you dare to make a change in the world around you? The issues we're facing are massive in scale. Their importance is planetary. It can seem daunting, like a huge mountain. You're not sure you'll make it to the top. Maybe you can't even see that far. But take one step, just one, and you'll already be that much higher. You'll already see that much clearer. That is our vision for the next 3 days. We may not solve every issue we tackle here and now, but if each one of us makes that step, those 700 steps in unison will give us the momentum we need to go further. Let's dare to step up. Thank you.